Chapter 8. The Shadows of the Hollow House. The wind didn't just blow around the old manor at the edge of the Three Brothers Mountains. It seemed to breathe through the rotting floorboards. It was a place the locals in town avoided, a house that had been empty since the turn of the century, at least of the living. Old Tom Brown pushed open the heavy oak door, the hinges screaming like a banshee in the dark. Beside him, Doc Holliday adjusted his black frock coat, his silver-headed cane tapping a steady, defiant rhythm on the dusty wood. Cousin Rosemary held a flickering lantern high, her weathered face set in a no-nonsense stare. "I've seen scarier things in a dry well, Tom. Let's see what's making all that racket." Perched on Tom's massive shoulder, Sugar wasn't acting like a kitten anymore. Her fur was standing on end, and her bright blue eyes were glowing with an eerie, unnatural light. She wasn't looking at the shadows. She was staring right through them. Suddenly, a cold mist began to swirl in the center of the parlor, taking the shape of a tall, gray figure with eyes as hollow as the house itself. It let out a low, mournful moan that made the lantern flame dance. Doc Holliday didn't reach for his iron. He just coughed into his handkerchief and looked the ghost square in the eye. "My dear fellow, your hospitality leaves much to be desired, and your tailoring is at least 80 years out of date." Sugar let out a sharp, resonant Siamese yowl sound that seemed to vibrate the very walls. The ghostly figure froze, its hollow eyes locking on to the tiny kitten. A silent understanding passed between the sentinel and the spirit. The mist began to retreat, the oppressive weight of the house lifting as if the mountain itself had just exhaled. "Well," Tom rumbled, his shaggy white beard twitching, "I reckon he just needed a reminder of who's in charge of the ridge." They walked back out into the Ozark night, the moon shining bright over Bull Shoals Lake. By the time they reached the porch of the general store, old Grumpy the buzzard was already waiting. Tom reached into his overalls, pulled out a sleeve of Oreos, and handed the first one to the bird. "Ghosts are fine for a haunt, Doc," Rosemary said, leaning back in her rocker. "But they don't dance for cookies, and they sure don't know the peace of a Three Brothers porch." Thanks for joining us for another tale. If you enjoyed the story, remember to like and subscribe for more adventures from the heart of the Ozarks. We'll see you on the porch next time.